Hey there, my name is Megan and welcome to my channel or welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing the end of year book tag. This is a book tag that I have done before. It's short and sweet and I do enjoy doing it. I will definitely link the book blog where I found this tag down in the description box below if you're interested in checking out the specific prompts. But before we go ahead and get onto the tag, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button as well as the little bell icon and give this video a like. Throw a little bit of support my way. Also, you can check down in the description box below for links to my Patreon where I do book giveaways, as well as my Amazon shop where I list all the books that I talk about on my channel that I really enjoyed and recommend. Prompt number one is, are there any books that you have started this year that you still need to finish? And believe it or not, I have 3 books that I started and have not finished. I do not think I'm going to be finishing all 3 of these books by the end of the year because it is quickly approaching, but they are books that I would like to finish eventually. The first book is The Vampire Lament by Anne Rice. I believe I started this in October because it kind of goes along with the spooky season. I reread Interview with the Vampire, I think last year, and it's one of my favorite books of all time. I have a full review for it. I'll post it up in the cards for you guys. But I started reading this, and Anne Rice is a beautiful writer, but it is very dense. And this book is longer than Interview with the Vampire, and I just found myself struggling to keep up with it, not because I wasn't enjoying it, but because it does require a decent amount of time and mental energy in order to get through it. And then October passed, and it is kind of like a dark book, and I just wasn't feeling that for November, definitely not for December. But I am currently on page 242. The book is separated into sections and there's chapters within each section, so I don't remember what section I'm on, but this is a book I would like to finish at some point in 2024, as well as just finish off the series with The Queen of the Damned. The next book I started earlier this year was Lake's Edge by Lindale Clipstone. This is a book that I bought strictly because of the cover. I thought the cover was beautiful, but this is a standalone YA, and I started it and then I put it down, and then I picked it up for a little while and then I put it down. And I'm currently on page 186. And like I said, I probably won't finish it by the end of the year, but it's not that I wasn't enjoying it. In this book, we are following a character whose brother has this magical ability, and it manifests itself almost as his ability to control shadows or darkness, and that is seen as like witchcraft in the town they live in. So there is this guy known as Rowan, the monster of Lake's Edge, which is this beautiful sprawling manor with a mansion on it, offers to help Violetta's brother with his magic. And Violetta doesn't have any of her own, but she says that she will only allow her brother to go with Rowan if she's allowed to come too. So what we learn is that Rowan was accused of murdering his family, and then he has these magical abilities similar to, obviously, Violetta's brother. And there's a lot more going on with Rowan and his reputation and the strange things that are happening in the city that ties into Violetta's brother and all of these things. So, like I said, I was enjoying what I had read of it, even though I didn't get that far in, and it is a book that I will finish eventually. And the last one is one you're probably tired of hearing me talk about, and that is Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett. I have just struggled so much with getting back into this book and being interested in this story. I've renewed my audiobook at least 4 times at this point, and I just am struggling listening to this audiobook. I haven't physically read it all. Maybe that's the problem. And I'm currently about 55% of the way through this. It was my goal to have this and Shoreside finished by the end of December. That's not going to happen, so I will definitely be happy if I can at least get through this and prioritize Shorefall and Locklands in early 2024. Prompt 2 is, do you have an autumnal book to transition you into the end of the year? And I absolutely do not. I don't really read books that coincide with any particular season other than spooky, creepy stories around the month of October. Those are really the only ones I enjoy. But I really don't line up my reading with the different holidays that are going on or the different seasons that are going on. That's just not something that's important to me. So no, I do not have a transition book. Prompt 3 is there a new release that you're still waiting on? And I did a video about my anticipated releases. I will link that up in the cards for you guys. But believe it or not, none of those books are extremely high priority for me. None of them I was super excited about reading. So I don't plan on purchasing any of those books immediately or reading any of those books immediately. I would rather focus on my own physical TBR that I have in my library and getting through those books before jumping into any of those new releases, if that makes sense. So unfortunately, there's nothing I'm excited for new release wise that's coming out at the end of the year. The next prompt is, what are 3 books that you want to finish by the end of the year? And this, I think, is definitely doable. So the first one is my current read, and that is Mickey 7 by Edward Ashton, which is an adult science fiction book. I'm currently halfway through this, and I'm on chapter 13, and my husband actually uses audiobooks.com for getting books that he needs to read for school, and he had an extra credit since he's not in school this month, and he asked if I wanted to get a book with his credit. So I said, sure, let's get Mickey 7 because I'm reading it, and usually the audiobook will help me get through the physical books I'm reading quicker. So I just started listening to the audiobook today. So hopefully I can have this finished, no joke, probably in the next 2 days, so I can have a review for you guys. But I actually was struggling a little bit in the beginning with this book. I really wasn't enjoying the tone and the main character, but as the story has expanded and we've gotten more into the science fiction aspect and we've gotten more into the colony world that these people have settled on, it's actually interested me more and I'm more invested in it. So I feel like a lot of parts and a lot of things are going to be revealed in the second half of the book, especially regarding the native species on this planet that are currently attacking Mickey and the humans that have landed there and begun to colonize. So I'm glad I kept with it because I am enjoying it way more than I was at the beginning. And then the next book I want to finish by the end of the year is Foundry Side. I'm not going to go through it again, but I am going to finish this book by the end of the year. And the last book I plan on reading and finishing is The Invocations by Crystal Sutherland. This is the same author of House of Hollow, which I read a couple of months ago and enjoyed. I just found her work to be so full of imagery. It is dark, it is creepy, and that is right up my alley, even though it's definitely not wintry or, happy for this time of year. But this is a book that I picked up at Y'all Fest. It does come out in February 2024, so I would like to have it read for y'all before then. But in this book, we are following 3 different girls, and one is possessed by a demon, the other one is trying to raise her sister from the dead, and the other one is a witch who practices dark magic, and the 2 girls find the witch to see if she can help with their dilemmas, but as it turns out, all of the witch's clients have been turning up dead, so these 2 other girls help the witch in determining who is targeting her clients, and then I'm sure there's a lot more to the story that has to do with, resurrecting a dead sister and exorcising a demon, etc. So it just sounds like it's going to be dark and creepy and right up my alley. Prompt 5 is, are there any books that you are going to read by the end of the year that could still shock you and become your favorite? And I'm going to say no. I've read some pretty good books this year, and I don't see any of the 3 that I just talked about, Mickey 7, Foundry Side, or The Invocations, becoming like an absolute all-time favorite or trumping any of the 4 and 5 stars that I've already read this year. But you never know, so stay tuned. And the last prompt is, have you already started making your 2024 reading plans? And absolutely, I posted like a, preliminary video where I talked about my 2024 plans. I'll link that up in the cards for y'all, but I go through how many books I want to read, specific series that I want to finish, authors that I want to continue, new authors that I want to try, some YA duologies that I want to finish. So I'm not going to go through that here. Just make sure that you check out the video if you want to hear more details about my 2024 plans. All right, you guys, that is it for the end of year book tag. Let me know in the comments your answers to some of these prompts, and I will see you all in another video soon. Goodbye.